Hey, everybody, welcome back. It's episode 5 of Education Smeducation. We're very excited. We've had some great reviews. Everyone's excited. Trivia Hub is our sponsor. They don't know about it yet, but they're going to be real happy when they maybe hear this someday. It's been good. I'm having a good week. My girlfriend has taken to working out in the dark, which is concerning. I got home today from getting a COVID test, and she was riding a Peloton in the dark. I've seen her do yoga in the dark, which seems antithetical to everything that yoga is supposed to be. But we're doing good. We're 10, 11 days from when Santa Claus comes. And with me, as always, is the headmaster, Ken Hamlett. Ken, does your son still believe in Santa Claus?
No, at 2 years old, we had to break that,
Good.
Couldn't let him believe in stupid Santa Claus.
Nice. Your son is a realist, and I appreciate that about him. This is a big show, though. This is a very big show. So far, we've had prospective teachers. We've had guys I started comedy with. We had a guy who played a teacher on a TV show. This is our first guest who actually has been a teacher. We're very excited to have him. He is no longer a teacher.
No,
he doesn't do it anymore. He's still a comedian.
That's right.
He currently he was living in a van for a little bit, and he had a podcast about it. He has a podcast about it. It's called Van Down by the River.
That's not right. That is not correct.
Oh, what's it called?
Down by the river.
Okay.
Start with the down. You got it. It's important, Mike. These things are important. Details are really important. B minus on the title. Okay.
Anyway, Jerry Hartnett's here. Terence Hartnett, what's up, buddy? How's it going, man?
What's going on? It's so good to see your face and this new guy Ken's face. It's good to see both your faces.
Nice.
Great to be here.
New guy Ken. So we were in Chicago together for a little bit there.
Yeah.
Did you start comedy in Chicago? Where did you? Okay. Give the people your story. Please. There, Terence.
Well, it does have a lot to do with teaching. Definitely has a lot to do with teaching. I was teaching when I decided to do comedy, or actually, I think I was getting my master's. You're getting what kind of master's are you getting?
Okay, my master's will be in secondary education, social studies.
Okay, I got a master's I got an MAT, which stands for Masters in the Arts of Teaching. Because it's an art. We'll discuss that at some point, I'm sure, whether or not it's an art. But I don't know what that really means. Essentially, it means you can teach high school in New York State. New York State requires a master's degree to teach at high school at any level.
Really?
So, yeah, it's really hard. Or you can get a degree, you can get a job as long as you promise to get a degree in the next 5 years. You can get licensed as long as it's like a provisional license, whereas you promise you're going to get a degree in the next 5 years. But I got mine right away.
That's how Michigan is, where you can be like, I'll do it eventually.
Yeah, I promise.
I could squeeze it in.
Lay off me. Ma, I'm getting it. I told you I was going to get it. Did I not say?
I'll do it when I'll save up 80 grand. Fine.
My word is bond, Ma. You know I'm good for it.
Ma, I never lied to you, except for that time. All right.
I swear on my mother.
I never lied. I'll do it.
That's a good character.
I'll do it.
That's a good character. I like this. That's a good character. This is going to go places. This is good.
Yeah, the teacher who's really plateaued in life.
And also a teacher who lives with his mother. That's good. That's what I was doing. So that's a good. That I can inhabit that character if I need to.
Yeah.
Mom, grading papers. Lay off me.
Ma, these kids need to learn self-regulated learning. I can't help them with that.
Ma, I got a parent-teacher conference for you, okay? It's going to be me conferencing with you. I'm the teacher. You're the parent.
Yeah. I'm going to tell Grandma that you're acting up.
I'm gonna bring your parents in.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
That would be amazing. I'm
That's
gonna
good.
do that with my mom. So I'm gonna do that with my mom on Christmas.
It's so fun.
I'll
It's
be
fun.
like, Grandma's here, and I need to tell her that you've been a mean mommy.
You're acting up. You need to practice your sharing skills.
Yeah. You're bringing in your homework late. You're drinking too much white wine.
Yeah. Well, I'm in the middle of a Sopranos rewatch. That's a very good character for me. I could really get into it. So thank you for the opportunity.
Sopranos is one of those shows where when you're in it, you're really in it.
I've been saying gabagool more than I really ever should, as the very, very white man that I am. I shouldn't be going gabagool. Oh, stuff like that.
You're a very waspy guy, and it's weird when the first thing you said when you got on the call today, you got on and said, "Oh, Maron." Maron. And I was like, no, I'm not Mark. It's Marin, first of all.
Maron.
And only about
enough with this already.
Are we good?
Are we good?
We're good. He's a good kid. Anyway, so you're teaching school or whatever?
Yeah, so I was okay. So I for grad school, I commuted from my parents' house, which I'm back in my parents' house now. I commuted to my parents' house to Colgate University. It's 40 minutes each way. So I was listening to a lot of podcasts. Hello, like I was listening to Mark Maron and You Made It Weird and like comedian podcasts where they talk about doing comedy.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I could start doing comedy. And they were talking about Chicago and New York and LA and like what was the best place to start. And Chicago was the best place to start. Mm-hmm. And then I just started like secretly writing jokes and stuff like that. And my friend lived in Chicago at the time. And so that was exciting. So then school ends, I get my first teaching job. And then during spring break of that teaching job, I left New York and went to Chicago. And then I visited my friend, quote unquote, visited him. But really, I was just trying stand-up comedy every night for a week. And it was great. Or it was okay. You know, it was like
I'm sure it wasn't great.
Oh, no. Yeah. It wasn't great. Okay, it wasn't great, but it was like
fun. Yeah, it's fun. It's probably fun.
It was an experience.
It was fun.
Yes.
It was like you get all laugh and you're like, I'm a genius. Like you're like
I did it. I remember I was a year and a half into comedy. And we went to New York City just because we're like, let's go to see what New York's like. And I got like 2 laughs at an open mic at Eastville Comedy Club. And I thought I was the greatest comedian of all time.
I own this city. I mean, I know now though. Yeah, it is hard to get a laugh at a New York City open mic. So I commend you for that.
Oh, thank you. I think my energy was really I was like 20 years old and I was just like a Tasmanian devil. And they were like, this kid's crazy.
You got to laugh. You got to laugh at Eastville. That's tough. Then I was teaching and I was like, I'm definitely doing comedy. And I was doing a paternity leave coverage. I was covering for a man who had a child. I was covering for his leave.
Like a Mr. Mom situation, or?
It's exactly like a Mr. Mom situation. Yeah. Thank you for asking. I should have just said that. I don't know why I said all that stuff. So a Mr. Mom happened. I got a job, yada, yada, yada. And it was a temporary position. And at the end of the year, they're like, hey, so, you know, things went really well. Obviously, I'm a great teacher. And they're like, what are you doing next year? And I was like, I'm going to move to Chicago and do stand-up comedy. And they're like, oh, really? Because you could have a job here and like you could make $60,000 off the top, like right away.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, I'd rather be a poor comic.
I'd rather be such a poor comic. I'd rather be a brunch waiter and do comedy during the week. We used to work just brunches, just the Saturday and Sunday brunch, and then just eat eggs and starve all week and just do open mics Monday through Friday.
How much would you be, and welcome to Waiter Chat, which is our other podcast. How much are you making in 2 brunch shifts a week?
Between $300 and $350 maybe. Like not great.
Not enough.
My rent was $800. Yeah, the math did not check out. I'm not a math. I was an English teacher. I should say that. I was not a math teacher. But the symbolism and the metaphors, they were all right.
Yeah.
They were
Oh yeah.
the character arc, that worked.
Yeah.
That was hot. But
It was
math,
zero third act problems.
but the math was a problem. I ended up having a comedian move into my living room in order to cut the rent by a third.
Good for
And
you.
yeah, that was a smart move. That I could keep being a degenerate, poor waiter comedian guy.
I mean, my first apartment in Chicago was definitely a broom closet. Like it was a repurposed broom closet. Or like, I think it was a walk-in closet that they had repurposed for someone who didn't want to bring any girls back to their place.
I go, no windows, no women. This is your
no ladies. Yeah. There was one window, and it was very big. The size,
right.
Yeah, it was very big. But there weren't any blinds, so I hung an Irish flag over it.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Yeah, the sexiest flag in world sport.
Everyone who walked by, they knew that an Irish child lived in that closet. Yeah. Clearly not a grown man because he would have a curtain. So it's an Irish boy lives there.
There's a guy up there who's not wearing condoms for religious reasons. And that religion is shame. It's shame.
Shame. I know. I'm Catholic too. I'm Irish Catholic. I know I do look like the waspiest guy in the entire world, but I am Irish Catholic.
Oh, that's interesting.
For the record, yeah.
Thank you. That the fans need to know.
I can't fight this look. It's gonna chase me my whole life. But that's just for the record. I'm not.
It's a good look. You don't want to look Irish Catholic. It's not a handsome. We're not a handsome people.
It's handsome for a while.
Personalities though.
Very handsome personality.
Thanks, Kenny. Thanks, buddy.
A lot of character. Yeah. Great. Yeah.
That was really when it came to the girls. I wasn't like I walk into the bar and was automatically charismatic. You need to talk to me a little bit, and then that's where I get you.
You gotta be reeled in.
Oh yeah. So what did your first year of teaching in New York State? Did you like any of it, or were you just focused on I want to go be Pete Holmes and Kyle Kinane?
Yeah. Well, that's what's weird with teaching for me is like I do like teaching. I grew up like wanting to be a teacher. Like I like the idea of like, like inspiring kids. Talking about books all day is like that sounds like a great job. And also like being a leader, being like a role model, like like being like the cross country coach who's like, got a little crew of students who like him, the best, and like being charismatic and charming and fun. I mean, but I think a lot of those exact same desires are just desires to be a comedian. Like it's just like a really cool teacher who doesn't get into grading and is like fun is like a comedian at the high school kind of. You know what I mean? Like it's like a bad comedian.
Definitely.
Or like a bad teacher is a good comedian. I don't know. There's sort of an overlap there. And I think like the things I like about teaching are comedy, like the comedy part.
Yeah.
And like ironically, like I went from like standing up in front of 20 people in a classroom to standing up in front of maximum 20 people in a bar in Chicago. Like
hopefully 20 people.
That's a great show. That's a great show in Chicago.
Yeah. What were like the biggest things that you took from teaching into comedy? And do you think I or someone else in my situation could reverse engineer that to be a successful teacher?
I have absolutely no doubt that if you're a decent comedian, you can be a really good teacher. Like
fantastic.
People will tell you that it's not that way. People
so
will
you're telling me
I
got a shot.
Oh, a huge shot. A huge shot. I think like it's so much of it is like classroom management and just being able to get the attention of a group of people. And also like reading a room, like knowing what they're like, if they're paying attention, like in the middle of when you're working out a bit and in the middle of it, you're like, everyone has turned off at this point. Like I have to say ass or something, or like I have to put something here at this part because everyone is starting to lose focus, that feeling that you're getting. Bad teachers don't have that, and they don't have that feeling for 40 whole minutes, and they don't care if they're losing you or not. You know what I mean? Like that is it's public speaking. It's, you know what I mean? Like, you should be good at that.
Yeah.
Or like reading the crowd. Like one day, okay, I remember one day teaching, like everyone was like tittering and laughing, and I turned, and I was teaching at a school that was like had a large Turkish population and like Middle Eastern in general, I guess. I don't know. A lot of the girls wore hijabs, like they wore head coverings. They didn't cover their face, but their whole head. I think they were hijabs.
Yeah.
Let's not go any farther before we put our feet in our own mouth. They were head coverings. Okay, they covered their head. Yeah.
We all know what you're trying to say.
Yeah, make us both sound really good in post.
Yeah.
But everyone was laughing, and I turned, and the girls who had hijabs had given girls who don't usually wear hijabs their hijabs. So like everyone had like passed. So like girls were wearing hijabs that don't wear hijabs. Everyone was laughing at that.
So they did a hijab switcheroo.
A hijab hijack. No, not a hijack. Ken, fix that too. We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
We're
not doing that one. No, we're not doing that
wow.
one. So
there it is. All right, there we go.
So the point was everyone was laughing at this thing that not what I was talking about. They were all laughing at some other thing, and I had to like just stop and like, you know how you do in comedy, you just address the thing so that everyone can move on. I had to be like, okay, Jenny's wearing a hijab. Does everyone see that? Jenny's wearing a hijab. Okay, can we move on to the thing I'm talking about now? Like that, and it gets you get a laugh off of the acknowledgement of the thing that's happened. Just acknowledging, like, oh yeah, a glass broke in the back.
Yeah,
we all hear that. The glass broke.
It's the same thing. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Mike, I think it'll serve you very well. Just like the idea of like, and your delivery too I think your delivery is like engineered where. I told you one time, it reminds me of Paul F. Tompkins, where every word strikes the audience as important. Yeah. Like, you change up.
I think what you're doing is Christopher Walken, but I know what you're trying to
say. That should go in your bio. The Christopher Walken of comedy.
A Walken act. Does he do that? Everyone's going to show up being like, I can't wait for him to do his Walken impression. And then I just do my regular act, and they're like, I see it, I think. I guess I see it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But that makes total sense where it's, I think you kind of do start, like there were so many times in this class that I had in the fall where the teacher was like, well, you have to make sure that if something happens in the room, that it's acknowledged. And in my head, I was just like, yeah, if like a glass falls or something, I get it. It's just like, yeah, you don't want to put the party poppers on the table before midnight on New Year's Eve. Like then it's just gonna be a mess. So yeah, that makes a total sense.
Absolutely.
You as a student in high school, what did you run cross country? What were you like? Were you bullied mercilessly? Were you beaten with rakes? Did anyone ever put a hijab on your head without your knowledge?
Is this going to be a stock question for the pod? Is this like what kind of student you were?
We always talk about this.
Good.
I think this is the fun stuff, because everyone thinks that they're, like. The amount of times, we've only done 5 of these, but the amount of times that arson has come up when I've asked this question is like almost every time. It's amazing.
Surprisingly too much.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, that's great. That's good pot.
Yeah.
Anytime arson is involved, that's like, I'm tuning in.
Yeah. I'm in. We were just burning stuff and
You got it.
Yeah.
Do I strike you as someone? I was not an arson guy.
No, yeah, you don't seem like you would have done arson. This is what I imagine, and this is a very gross generalization.
Great.
You strike me as the guy at the sleepover who's like, yeah. We got to keep it down though, because the parents might hear. Sure. And everyone else is like jumping on shit and they're spraying Cheese Whiz in their mouth and finding the porn channels. Boy, oh boy, one day we'll just have a Cinemax episode. Just saluting them and all of their nonsense. But yeah, that's what you strike me as like what you would have been. Like, hey, let's have fun, but we really need to follow the rules.
Yeah, like I'm as good of friends with the mom at the sleepover as the kid I'm visiting. I'm like, but what's going on with you, Marilyn?
Yeah.
Like, how's your day?
You're like, hey, I'll catch you later. Me and Marilyn got to catch up.
Yeah. You would have called my mom Mrs. O, and then my mom would have been like, you can call me Mary Ellen, and then you would have still called her Mrs. O.
Right.
And she would have really gotten a kick out of it.
I'm like, surely you're Mike's sister, right? You can't be Mike's mom. That is the energy that I bring. That's what I do.
That is aces every single time.
That one does work every time, and they know you're lying. They know it, but they like it. They like when you flirt with them a little bit. You gotta flirt with the mom.
You have to.
You have to.
Did you ever do that? I used to do that with my girlfriend's moms.
Oh yeah, it's good. They love it.
They
like feeling like a young woman as opposed to a mom. No one wants to feel like a old person.
Everyone wants to feel young.
Yeah.
You know, young guys like us, 25 still, right?
We are emotionally 25 if we're lucky. We are maybe we'll get there.
I think I'm 17 most days, to be honest with you.
Which is why you'll be you're going to teach high school? Is that the plan?
I would like to teach high school. I don't hate the idea of teaching middle school.
Yeah, you could be good at that too.
Because I think those kids are a little underserved as far as being trusted with certain subject matters. Yeah. And the amount of critical thinking that they probably can do.
And there's not too many people that want to be middle school teachers, though. It's usually like elementary or high school. Like everybody skips over middle school. So
well, I mean, I think it is because it's the most terrifying age to be. Like, would you want to go back and be 13, Ken?
Yeah, I would totally love to do that. I would invest in so many things.
It's not a time travel question, Ken. You can't. It's not like
I don't have
you're
any.
13 now. You're on TikTok. You're on Snapchat. You're 13 now.
No.
Yeah, 13 now.
I would like to be 13 back in my day, but like now, no. There's like way too much pressure with like social media and all that shit to be like perfect. Nah, I would be 13 back in like 2006 or whatever it was, 2005 when I was 13.
Yeah, being 13 in 2003, 2002 was pretty fun. Like, I had a lot of fun.
I agree.
And I probably got a bunch of age. Yeah. Which always blows my mind because I look so much worse than you.
Yeah. You've looked this age for a long time.
I've looked this age since I was 19. 100%.
Yeah, I've seen pictures and it's 100% true. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very weird. But hey, what are you gonna do? But no, I like being 12 in 2001 and 13 in 2002 and 2003 was like very fun. I was playing football at a very high level for my age, and concussions were not discussed by anyone yet. And I, you know, it was good. And I was the center on the basketball team, and I was 5'6".
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez, that is a point guard on our basketball team in the 8th grade. Like, most.
Not where I went to school.
You had power. You could back them down, I bet. You had like power.
I wasn't a good offensive player. I was making my money on defense as a rebounder.
Okay.
And as a guy who wouldn't give up.
Scrappy.
It's very scrappy.
Yeah.
You would liken me to a guy you've never heard of before.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah. You'd be like, oh, what's his name? Oh, come off the bench and give 5 fouls. That was who it was.
I remember Craig Forth at Syracuse back in the day when I was watching Syracuse basketball more. Craig Forth is this like 6'8" center for Syracuse, and he was a 4th grade teacher. He was like an elementary school teaching major. So there you go.
Oh, wow.
That is like one of 5 basketball players that I know besides Carmelo Anthony. So I'm a Syracuse basketball fan.
Well, I mean, you should know more. You had such a great basketballing program up there.
But for a lot of that, I had practice for the musical that I was in, so I wasn't really watching. Yeah, okay. I had stuff going on, like I had choir and all that kind of stuff.
Were you? Did you do all that stuff in high school too, or just in college?
I was the most well-rounded student ever. I played football. I was like a 3rd-string tight end. I don't know. All my friends did it. I just did it. I did academic decathlon in the winter. That's like a academic competition. We were state champions. We went to nationals.
What sort of stuff are you doing in academic decathlon?
There's a speech, there's an interview, there's an essay, there's math, literature, art, economics, the core subjects plus like economics, literature, art, and like a few other things. Math.
Are they interviewing you or you're interviewing someone?
The interview was weird. It was like a job interview. It was like a college admissions interview essentially, but like competitive interviewing. I never did that great. I didn't know what the hell they were scoring you on, like your handshake. I don't know. That was one of the events. I have no idea.
Nuts.
That is nuts. That was the weirdest ones. Interview.
Yeah, they should have had you interview other people. I think that's that would have been more interesting.
I agree.
And whoever gets the most subscribers on iTunes wins.
I should have been better at it.
Yeah, whoever gets the most 5-star reviews on the web, fucking in like
whoever gets a MeUndies sponsorship first gets to move to the next round.
Yeah, you move to the next round and you get a Casper mattress. That's nuts. So you're well-rounded. Did you have buddies? You have pals?
Yeah, I was like. I don't know. I think I was like friends with every group a little bit. Like I wouldn't be invited to everybody's birthday, but I could sit wherever I wanted to at lunch. Like I was friends with the popular kids liked me, but they knew they could fuck with me and I wouldn't do anything. Like they used to steal like traffic cones and then bring them to my house and leave them at my house as like a prank.
What's the prank there?
The prank is, I don't know. Well, I asked them, they left, it kind of like, it escalated more and more. Like they would leave like a toilet on my lawn.
Oh, well, that's definitely a prank.
That's funny.
That's a prank. That's good. And then one day they left like a full dinette set that someone must have left outside. It was like a set dining room table with chairs and like not a sofa, but like a recliner and then like a TV. Like it was like a whole living room situation on my lawn.
That's funny. That's legit.
That is pretty fun. And I ended up asking them why me? Like it wasn't like we weren't like close friends. I was like, why me? And the guy just honestly was like, well, we knew you wouldn't ever do anything about
you wouldn't tell, so let's give Terry a wedding gift.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's so wild.
I wish I was furnishing an apartment.
Yeah. That would have really helped out like 10 years later.
Exactly. No, like 5 years later, I'm scrounging for Chicago alley furniture, and I'm like, damn, that was not actually that bad. Like that was a decent set. Everything matched, and I could have impressed people.
Did you ever get a mattress from the alley?
Never a mattress. Come on,
okay.
that's entry level shit. But I did get a dresser from the alley, and then I did get bed bugs 3 months later. And I think it was the dresser. Someone was like, hey, you're gonna get bed bugs if you take that shit from the alley. And I was like, shut up. And then I got
what
bed bugs.
What do you know?
I got them, and no one else got them in my apartment. No one. It was like, I think it was me.
My roommate in 2014, whose name I won't mention because this isn't a great story about him. Didn't take a mattress from the alley. He took a mattress from the people that were moving out, and they were like, we're just going to throw this away. And he was like, oh, can I have it? And
gross.
Yeah, gross.
Sure.
And he definitely got bed bugs, like almost instantaneously to the point where I was like on the road and I was like, okay, I'll just move in on Monday instead of Saturday. So I got to go make $200 in, Terre Haute, Indiana, or fucking whatever. But he called me and was like, "Yo, I have bed bugs." I was like, "Well, I'll see you later then."
That's your problem.
Delayed me moving in. But yeah, like, don't take up like other people's furniture. I don't know. I don't understand how anyone did that.
Okay, but a mattress is it's so
They're very
sad because a mattress, it's $700 or it's garbage. It's like so funny. Like you buy it and you use it and you can't give it away. No one wants your old mattress, but it's perfectly fine. But they choose to just buy. There's no resale value for a mattress.
Zero.
But they cost $700.
And that's
I
just
bought cheaper cars.
Yeah, that's like a basic level mattress.
Yeah.
My mom used to run a secondhand store that specialized in raspberry berets in Ann Arbor.
What is a raspberry beret?
Ken from Prince.
Oh.
I don't know either. I just laughed because it's a funny phrase.
Thank you for selling me out. But the great Prince had a song called Raspberry Beret. Kind you find in a secondhand store. It doesn't matter.
Oh, it was a Prince reference.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. People got it.
Prince.
People got it. People loved it.
Fun fact, I made a first date when I lived in Minneapolis. I made a first date drive me by Prince's house.
I would have done the same.
Yeah, right? Pretty cool. But no, the one thing they wouldn't take, they'd take anything. The one thing they would not take, mattresses. Can't do anything with them.
No one wants them. But it's like if you have a trusted friend who you know isn't going to give you bed bugs, I take that mattress. You just saved $700.
It's such a weird thing.
I gave one of my old mattresses to Blake Burkhart. Totally worked.
No complaints.
Nope.
Bed bugs, like I've never even heard of bed bugs. I lived in New York and never heard of bed bugs when I lived in New York. But then when I moved to Chicago, bed bugs is such a thing. Like I've never heard of it, and now they scare me. I've never seen one, but they terrify me.
They're fucking scary.
And they are big enough to see. You can see them, and boy, when you're sleeping in on a weekend morning, and you see a bug go past your eyes, that really depresses you. That can really make you reconsider quitting teaching. That can really make you reassess your brunch waiter career.
So post high school, did you know you wanted to teach? Was that like your A1 plan going in?
From younger than that, like from going into high school. It's so crazy. And then through college, never thought about doing anything but teaching, even though it's like, I mean, I had a bit about it for years, but it's like, it's a bad job. It's not a good, I mean, no offense. I mean, it's like, it's a middle of the road job. The best teacher in the world makes maybe six figures, like maybe the best teacher.
Man, the best thing that you can hope to do is like college professor.
Sure.
Tenured college professor, or like the head of a department in college, or like the president. Like I think the president of a big state school makes maybe $250,000 a year.
A little more than that. You can get a pretty like those state school people. They make good money because and that's like public knowledge, or it's like publicly funded, so they have to like disclose. And I have a friend whose dad publicly makes almost a couple $100,000 a year, like a really, really good job, and everyone has to know it.
Yeah.
So I just Googled what the president of Michigan State, who was the president when I was there, made while I was there. $855,000.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And she had to retire in last year, and her severance was $2.4 million.
Woo. And wait, she had to retire? Did she get like fucking pushed out?
I don't want to get into this, but do you remember the Larry Nassar situation?
Wait, who Nassar? Sorry,
Larry Nassar situation. Scandal.
No.
Oh well, there was a doctor at Michigan State who was like an athletic doctor, and he did some very bad things.
Yeah.
And Luanna Kay was the president while he was doing all these things, and she may or may not have known, so she left.
And if she could prove that she didn't know, then she would not have left. If she could,
100%. But also, if that stuff happens on your watch, you shouldn't.
Yeah.
If you know or didn't know, you gotta get out of there. You know.
It's honestly right. It's like, well, if you didn't know, you're also doing a bad job. If you never even found out,
just gotta.
The news truck shows up like, hey, what's this newscast here for? Like, what's going on at my school?
Did the football team win again? No.
Yes, again,
it's
buddy.
Different than that. So what was like? What drew you to that as a kid, though?
I have Did
you have teachers that like really made a difference?
I have teachers in my family. I have a lot of teachers in a lot of my aunts are teachers, and like my 7th grade Spanish teacher was my aunt. We went to Costa Rica with my aunt. She was cool, and it seemed like a fun thing, and you're getting all this attention. I'm like, this guy in the front of the room, this is a good job. The one everyone's looking at. I like that.
There's definitely an element to that for sure.
Like looking back, it was just like I wanted to be a priest too at one point. And looking back, it was like, okay, you want to talk in front of people, just go do that. Like you don't have to pretend to love grammar in order to do that. Just go and do that for free in Chicago. No problem.
You don't even have to go to Chicago. Like there's
true.
There's mics in upstate New York, baby.
There is. There's a Funny Bone in the mall. You could go to that fucking Funny Bone. It's widely regarded as one of the worst clubs in the country, and you can go there.
Nice. And the Syracuse Funny Bone, you saying? Are you on record saying the Syracuse Bone? No.
I performed there once. I did a guest spot one time, like the night before Thanksgiving or soming.
That's the worst time to go there. Any club, honestly.
But I could probably go back and be the king because I was like, I think I was doing a guest spot. And I was like, can I have comps? And they're like, sure. And then I gave them 30 names, like all my aunts and uncles and everything.
Wow.
They had like a section in the back that was just like my family. And I was, and they all bought, drinks and chicken wings and whatever. So it's like, I got to draw. I got to draw here.
You're big in that market. That's what I hear. Those shows that are like, hey, we're home for Christmas. Everyone who moved is back, and we're doing a show. They're always the easiest crowds. It's so much fun. We did one in Ann Arbor once, and it was like packed, and they carried each of us. Oh man, I wish I could do that soon.
Oh, I know. God, an easy.
We're getting down to it though. We're getting down to it. The first person in Chicago got the vaccine today, so that's fun.
Was it Curtis from the Laugh Factory?
It was Curtis from the Laugh Factory, yeah. And Bert Haas gave it to him.
But he was late, so Bert didn't even give him the vaccine.
Bert gave it to himself and was like, whatever.
That's a Bert thing. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah,
that's
so
great.
you... Yeah. But what was the why the priesthood, if you don't mind me asking? It obviously didn't happen. So
it didn't happen, not even for a little bit. It never. That would be a way cooler comedian origin story. A lot of comedians used to be teachers, or they're teachers right now. That's very common. But like, if they're like, Terrence used to be a priest, that would be fucking killer.
You would get a special immediately.
Especially now, with the they're like the Gary Goldman kind of Berbiglia thing where it's more about like the story you're telling. If you got if it was like, it would be like, and also with Terence Hartnett. That would be amazing.
It would be called Body of Terence. and the little Netflix picture would be you in a stained glass window, like that. And on one hand, it would be a crucifix, and on the other, it would be like a dick or a beer or something. Because
it would be it'd be the dirtiest special ever. It'd be like so dirty. It'd be great.
Yeah.
Like, body of Christ. What part of the body are we eating to this guy?
Yeah.
What part? Hello.
Yeah, everyone line up so we can eat Jesus's balls.
I'm wearing the robe. They let me keep the robe. What are they crazy?
They have like those incense swinger things, but it's 2 hot chicks with them.
Hell yeah. They're full of Everclear or something. Yeah. Everyone's getting burned.
And the house band that plays you on, that's also Everclear. It's going to be great. Burn it, burn it, burn it, burn it.
Absolutely.
And also with you.
And also with you. I don't know. I think it's just the public speaking thing. Like we had an Irish priest who's very funny and cool.
Oh yeah.
So that was a big part of it. You'd like, I mean, like in a church joke, there's no hotter crowd than a church joke. I remember the day, remember daylight savings is on a Sunday, right? So I remember that day was happening and he was closing mass, right? And he goes, all right, everybody, whatever. I was gonna say, it doesn't say thanks for coming out. Whatever they say at the end, like, hey, thanks for coming out.
Thanks for coming out. Like, tip your wait staff. Fill out your comment cards. These are things priests say, obviously.
But the joke he made, he goes, on your way out, just watch out for the traffic of people coming to the 11 o'clock mass. Huge laugh because right now is 11 o'clock. That's how bad of a joke you can do and crush. So. Yeah.
In my church was in Ann Arbor, like the city. It was close to the football stadium, and there was a 4:30 Saturday mass. And if U of M played at 3:30 on that Saturday, it would be empty. and every time it worked every time. But this priest, I forget his name. But he would say every time there was a 3:30 game, he'd be like, light crowd, or not light crowd. He would say, there's not many of us here today. I think some people are praying at the big house instead of God's house. Whoa! Yeah!
They're loving it.
Just like he's getting flashed tits, like the nuts shit, and it's like, oh, okay, like, all right, good for you, man.
It's the hottest crowd. So yeah,
hottest crowd. We didn't have any cruel priests. We had 2 alcoholic priests who ended up having to go to like priest rehab.
I'll tell you, Mike, our cool priest was also an alcoholic priest.
Hell yeah, dude.
You might be surprised to find this out. Yeah.
They were like, they said there's like special rehabs that's just for priests.
Wow. You learn so much.
Yeah, they have a lot of rehabbing to do in a couple of different areas, I think. Yeah.
I say let them drink.
Oh my God, have a drink. Are you kidding me?
How do they not drink?
They do drink. They definitely drink. I mean, I went to a Catholic college.
Drink, how do they not drink? That's my question.
They get drunk on power.
Oh, I'd rather be drunk on VO. So you get into Syracuse. That's where you went the whole shot, right? Both of them?
No. I went to St. Bonaventure University, a nice little Catholic school south of Buffalo, and I went to Colgate University for my master's.
Okay, yeah, I remember you saying. Sorry about that. I remember you saying that. So you get to St. Bonnie's. You're in the teaching program immediately.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the other kids in the teaching program? Did you size them up and were like, they're no match for sweet tea?
It was a lot of like women who wanted to teach elementary, and then like guys who were preparing to be the cool teacher. That guy, like the sad, where it's like it's going to be his whole thing to be the cool math teacher who's like, you can tell me anything, whatever, I'll say damn, I don't care, like a little light swearing. Those guys are all over the place, like corny guys.
Yeah.
And
that wasn't you though. You didn't want to be. You were in it for the right reasons.
I could exactly. The
right. Are you kidding me? 30 kids every class period, 6 hours a day, looking at me. Yeah, for sure.
It's like the best bringer show ever.
Yeah, no promo. They just get you get 6 hot rooms a day.
No promo.
Packed rooms.
I don't have to tweet about it. It's gonna be great.
Yeah. Huge. Yeah, I could have easily been the cool. Like I was like, I know if I just say shit one time, like these kids will worship me. But I did I kept my distance, and I kept my cool. I didn't let him friend me on anything or whatever, like all that. So what are you gonna do about that, Mike, with your online? Because I applied to some teaching jobs during quarantine, like at the lowest of my depression. I was like, I'm just gonna fucking teach. I don't know. And I had to I tried to scrub the internet of my comedy, and there's stuff that I have no control over. I had to like email people to try to like get stuff unlisted and whatever. And I was like, I'm gonna have to just interview and be like, yeah, I did comedy for a while. I still do comedy. I don't know what I would say, but like I was clean, and everything you could find on the internet is cleanish stuff, and like just kind of like try to fudge it.
Yeah. I have no idea. I
you
really
haven't thought about this. This has not been part of the plan.
I mean, it's so far off. It's so far off. That's
what is it, a year? What, a year from now?
No. I have one semester done.
So what do you? How many? I did my master's in a year and a half.
Well, we're not all special like you. No, mine will be probably another year and a half to 2 years.
Okay.
I think in that time, I think part of what makes me a good candidate is that I have a past. And this is what I'm pitching to myself. No, also, I think I mean it's the best thing I have on my resume going into teaching. So getting rid of it, I think, would kind of do me a disservice. As far as the content goes, I think you're going to see a lot of podcasts disappear, maybe.
Yeah.
Or again, since this is about education, I also think it might help because there are teachers out there that have like web presences. Mm-hmm. Like there's a guy named Devin Siebold who I sent an email to today, who's a comic and a teacher. And his whole thing is like, I'm a teacher and I'm a comic, and
good.
Here we go.
Yeah.
And so I really don't know. I think it's definitely something that I will be exploring, to come. I don't think I'm terribly filthy. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm not, I don't know. I'm not a, my name's not Ballsack Johnson or anything.
No.
I couldn't think of a name of a dirty comedian to save my life. I don't think there's anything out there, and I'm sure someone's going to prove me wrong.
Right.
But I don't think there's anything that I've said on a podcast or in a clip that I have that is like cancelable or something that's not. At worst, it's like, I had sex and then a dog took a shit and I had to clean it up because that was my job. And my dad's dead. Like that's the whole thing, And what does this school have a no dog walking, no dead dad teacher policy?
Right. No, that's good. I think if I was hiring, I would be like, well, let's make sure he's not like up there talking about like coming the entire time.
Yeah.
Or like nothing about like, nothing about pedophilia, nothing about like, I guess like drugs might be I'm not even sure. Like, I don't even know I don't think they should care. I think it's like, I think it is an asset. Like when I was picturing myself, I was like, listen, I'm a comedian. That is a huge asset. Like I'm going to be able to, I know how to work a room, which is like, honestly, 100%. I think, anybody can learn. Like we all did the high school English curriculum. So we all could kind of teach that. I mean, anybody who anybody who's an English major in college could easily teach the material, but it's like, can you manage a classroom? That's what teachers struggle with. And then that's your biggest asset.
Yeah. And it literally is like, if you look at my resume, there's other stuff on it, but the biggest thing is I basically frame it as I ran my own business for 12 years. You know what I mean?
Nice.
So it's like, that's not, there's no way for me to get around it at this point. Does that mean I probably won't teach at like a Catholic school? Probably. Am I okay with that? 100%. I'm 100% okay with that. But you know, we'll see.
Leave it on the resume. You leave it on. Yeah, you leave it on the resume, and because it's like if they're gonna find it, then they're gonna find it. If they're not gonna like it, they're not gonna like it. So it's like just be upfront.
Yeah.
And there you go.
I think you get in a lot more trouble trying to hide stuff like that.
Yeah.
Ken, what do you think?
I was gonna say it's actually surprising. I was a therapist before I moved out here, and when I applied, nobody knew I did comedy. But by my first day, everybody that I worked with knew that I did comedy.
Oh, that's hell.
Like, so it was. I try to hide it. Usually, I don't say anything. I don't even mention it. But after that job, I was like, oh, like if I can have this extremely professional like position and like that's held in high regards, and they all know that I'm a comedian. Now when I go and interview at places, I'm like, I just want to let you know that I do comedy and that's like my first passion, and this is like a second passion. Yeah. Like this is gonna take backseat to comedy. And then most of them are like pretty like fine with it. It's not on my resume though. Like when you're talking about on your resume, that's interesting. I've never even thought about putting it on my resume.
I mean, I did it. That was basically all I was doing once I graduated college.
Yeah.
Until I was about 25.
Yeah.
26. I like the idea that you refer to it as running a small business. It's like that is a very funny way to frame what was actually going on.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, running a small business. I would wake up around 11:30. I would email a bunch of bookers. I would have lunch. I would order some T-shirts to sell. And then I would go do open mics, and then I'd work on the weekends and get paid money to do comedy. That is the loosest definition of a small business, man. Like imaginable.
It's like beers come in, dick jokes come out,
drink tickets come in, beers go into my mouth, empty cans go in the recycling. Dude, recycle. It's very important.
And it's been a great quarter. And this has been a really great quarter. It's been,
hell of a quarter.
Been good.
But no, like I had to file taxes as like I had to incorporate 1 year and that kind of shit is.
What was your corporation name? Hell yeah.
It's gonna really blow your mind. It was Mike O'Keefe and Sons Industries.
Sons Industries.
That's kind of funny. Like, so like what? Like, why? Because you have who knows how many kids?
I don't have any kids.
Yeah,
That's why it's funny.
Yeah.
And so there's also a Mike. I think he goes by Michael, but there's a Michael O'Keefe who's an actor, and so I've never had to join SAG for anything. But if I ever do, I'm going to be Michael O'Keefe Jr.
Oh wow! And
I've never met this guy.
Are you a junior?
No.
Oh,
no, dude, you gotta just.
This guy's not my dad.
You gotta go by Michael O'Keefe and just take all of his credits.
He was in Caddyshack, which doesn't hold up. He was. Yeah, so that's what I would do. So when you were subbing for this man who had a Mr. Mom situation. Take me back to like the first day of you going in there. Like what was your mindset going in? Were you nervous? Do you remember which episode of Comedy Bang Bang you listened to on the way in?
Yeah, it was I did struggle with like classroom management right away, and like I was always good at that part of it of like talking in front of people, but like I'm not like disciplinarian. I want them to all like me, you know?
And just so the audience knows, classroom management, I mean, educationally you define it as kind of how you teach, how you control your students, how you manage the room. What is that what you would define it as?
Yeah, totally. I think it's like everything but the actual like instruction, like
everything but the curriculum.
Yeah, the curriculum, which is like I think anybody who got decent grades in college in the major could do the curriculum part, but the management part is like there's so many things to like deal with. Like like even like, well, yeah, when they come in, they're milling around. How do you get their attention? Like, how do you talk to them? Like, what do you do before they leave? All that stuff. And like, what do you do when the kids are like just yelling back at you? Like, I there's no procedures that work for everybody in every situation. Like I very early on, I told a kid to shut up in my classroom. Because he was telling me to suck his dick, and I I wanted him to stop saying that so much.
Wait. So what? Like, that's gotta be a crazy moment for 22, 23-year-old kid.
Yeah, dude. I mean, yeah. And this is I was student teaching at this point, and this is when I was like in college student teaching.
Okay, so you're like 21, maybe.
It was grad school. Yeah, I think I was 22.
Okay.
And I was at a school in Ithaca where it's a very loose school. It's a very hippy-dippy school. Ithaca's like a college town. A very hippy-dippy town. And
they got two there.
Yeah. Yes, Cornell and Ithaca. Yes. So it was like a very loose sort of unregulated classroom management situation overall at the whole school. So it was like down to each teacher to kind of be the law of the land in their classroom. You couldn't you're not calling the principal for every little thing. You have to like just be your own guy. So the result was it was kind of loose. And there was some kids who just took advantage of how loose the school was and just like, yeah, he's been outside smoking weed the entire day. He's back in now. What are you gonna like? Everyone knows it. He's been gone all day, you know? So this kid was just, and he didn't say it one time. He said it over and over and over and over and over again, like trying to get a rise out of me.
In rapid succession, or
suck my dick, suck my dick, suck my dick.
So he's chanting it at you. Yeah. Oh my God.
You could have put a beat on it. It could have been like a decent track. He was like, it was.
We got some SoundCloud streams.
Yeah. For sure. There's been worse raps. There's been
worse raps.
Yeah.
80. Get out of here.
I'm 150 years old and white. But so that story is I told him to shut up. I go, shut up. Because he wouldn't stop. I didn't know how to escalate. I went right to like my human being response as opposed to like teacher response. Like when someone says that to you that many times, you just want to stop it, you know? And then he got up and went to the principal's office to tell on me. He goes, I'm telling.
Because like the one thing I think that I'm like the biggest thing that I'm worried about is becoming the story.
Yeah.
Right?
What do you mean? Like doing something so bad?
Doing I think as a teacher you have to be very composed. Cause there's some of the biggest things I remember from my time in high school were teachers losing their fucking minds.
Yeah.
And like this dude, Aaron Rumberger, he might have been a great teacher. I never had him, but all I knew about him was that a kid did something, and Rumberger made him stand up, and Rumberger picked up his desk and threw it down, and the metal leg like splayed out in the back. So he basically broke a desk, and no one knows why. And he would like throw shit in the room.
That was my band teacher.
What'd you say?
That was my band teacher, dude. He would always throw pins at people and just like he would snap. He threw his like whole
in the band.
Yeah, he threw his whole.
Yeah, for what?
That's crazy. That's not a C note.
Yeah,
C sharp.
I said staccato and just like throw.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, there's no final exam. Like, it's gonna be fine.
Yeah,
you're either playing hot cross buns or you're not, baby. I don't care.
Our parents are gonna like it no matter what. Like, it's gonna be just the parents.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, I've had like some pretty crazy stories. In my middle school, we had a teacher. That's the same middle school. We had a teacher slam a kid.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like pick him up and slam him on the ground. Like the
oh my god, I thought you meant
like pro wrestling.
Yeah, for sure.
Shit.
Like, yeah, there's so many instances of like students trying to fight teachers, and this teacher was just like, I'm not getting hit. And so he just slammed the student. Totally. No, never got in trouble for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was like a
self-defense. I don't know what you can do. Right?
I don't think a body slam is self-defense. I mean, that seems a little offense to me. I'm not sure if like
there's nothing wrong with that.
There's a
I'm
few
trying to give
steps.
this man the benefit of the doubt.
There's a few steps before body slam. I think there's a few moves you could do that are less than a body slam, but
you could sleeper hold, maybe. I don't know.
Hey, I mean, I have a master's. That's all I'm gonna say. I have a master's. I don't know.
Right.
What, Ken? I didn't know that. What other shenanigans happened?
Oh man, so many things. I went to a school. I went to a middle school that was like on the verge. You know, like when the state decides to take over your school, like it's the test scores are so bad and like there's so many problems at the school that they're like, hey, y'all got like a couple more years to like fix this stuff or we're taking over. We were always like on the bubble. Like when I got there, they had been so low with test scores that they were like, all right, y'all got a year, and if you don't, then we're taking over the school. So they're like barely made the cusp of not being taken over. But eventually, I think they were like they let go of like a third of the teachers, like half the teachers, and then just rehired a bunch of new teachers in there. Like it was such a bad school. Like we had
for what made it bad. And this is a middle school, correct?
This is middle school, yeah. I'm from Tacoma, and so like this school was like it's not exactly Hilltop, which is like one of the like inner city, I guess you would call it. We were like the hood school. We're like one of the hood schools, and so we just had a lot of problems, a lot of fighting, a lot of gang related stuff, a lot of dumb stuff, a lot of teachers that didn't care. And so there was so much like teachers almost getting hit, fights every day. Lots of crazy shit happened at that school.
That's got to wear on you. To go in every day and see fights. I can see you end up in a body slam situation. If you're
that's got to be so exhausting.
Yeah, and like you can get like a PTSD. Like you can get like just get so tired of seeing it all the time.
Yeah, that was the teachers for sure. Half of them were just like, I don't even want to be here, and you could tell they didn't want to be there. So it was kind of a shitty middle school.
I was in a grade school, and you can get burned out so fast. You just get so tired after you answer 100 questions, or like every kid when they walk in, they go, "What are we gonna do today?" And I go, "I'm gonna tell you at the beginning of class." Like I'm so tired of answering that question. What are we gonna do today? What do you think I'm gonna do? What do you think I'm gonna like? They want like a sneak preview.
Like we're gonna just spin a wheel and just whatever. That's what we're gonna do today.
And I end up getting so sarcastic, like because like by like the poor 30th kid who asks, "What are we gonna do today?" I just stare him down. I just like go, "What are we gonna do today?" And I just go, "Like I heard you, but I'm not gonna answer you." Like that, he doesn't know. He just wants to say something, you know what I mean? But he doesn't know I've heard that 30 times.
Yeah. What are we gonna do today? Well, I'm gonna body slam each and every one of them.
I'm gonna open with body slamming. That way, everyone knows the score.
Yeah.
Okay?
That way, no one asks.
After
it's Thursday, we're body slamming.
Well, like that guy didn't get fired for body slamming, so he's like, I guess body slamming is just like the third period now. I just do that. That's what I do. Okay, but the end of that story where kid, I had to go to the principal's office. I got sent to the principal's office.
From Suck My Dick Kid, you had to go.
Yes.
Okay. What was like your what happened?
No, she just goes, you can't use that language with the kids. She was not on my side at all, which really, really hurt my feelings. Like, and like, we all know this kid is a problem. Like, this is a kid he loves causing problems with other students and teachers all day long. And I think because I was a student teacher, she wanted to make sure I knew that was not okay or whatever. And it's like, I know it's not okay. That's what I mean. Like, but
I tell you, it's not okay. This stoner telling me to suck him off.
I know. Anyway, I did go home and cry. So I cried after that.
Do you remember other times that you cried? How many times did you cry as a teacher?
I think that was the only time. Okay. It's like, I think it's like you can feel yourself you know, like that feeling, when you cry, it's because it's like for me at least, because every other solution has been exhausted. So I just ended up kind of like just kind of protecting myself a little, just kind of like pulling back a little bit, and don't get emotional. Don't let yourself get caught up in. It's like you got to be like, I'm the teacher, I'm an adult, this is a kid. Who cares? I'm in charge. You have to like let it wash over you more. I did learn that, because it's like, it's not like a person saying suck my dick. It's a kid who's saying suck my dick to a person who is in charge, and he hates people who are in charge because they're hassling him all day long. You know what I mean? Like, so
he would probably say that same thing to the Pope. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, you would probably say that same thing to anyone who's in charge. A waiter at Applebee's, anyone who is standing over him at that moment.
Exactly, right. And and I just hate being I hate being disliked, which is a huge issue for being a teacher. So it's like I want to be the guy everyone likes, but I don't want to. It's hard because like you can't just be everyone's buddy. You're the teacher. You're grading them and you're telling them to do shit they don't want to do. So that
has to be objective. Yes, of course.
Sucks. That's part of what sucks about it.
Did you ever deal with that? Deal with not being liked?
No. What I did was I was incredibly charming and fun, and I was super easy grading wise and work wise. Like I remember I was leaving my job and they're like, we never had one complaint about you, not one complaint. And you're a new teacher. You don't know the rules. Like kids love to complain about new teachers and they kind of get them in trouble, and they kind of, so I was good at classroom management and managing the people side of it. I mean, I don't think they didn't learn. I wasn't great at the teaching part, like as much as a real teacher would have been, but we ended up being buds, most of us.
Oh, that's good.
That's good.
Yeah, that's good. Terry, first off, thank you so much for coming on. It's been lovely. This has been a lovely chat.
Yes, it has. It's so fun.
This has been a good time.
Yeah.
But unlike you, when you were a teacher, I got to give you a pop quiz, baby.
Oh, no. Is this the pop quiz? I was not prepared. Okay.
And that's why it's a pop quiz, dude. Dumbass.
He was so liked, he never gave pop quizzes. He was
exactly.
Terry, you gotta suck my dick, man.
Shut up, Mike. Shut up.
So, is there a particular charity that you like to donate to, Terry? Off the top of your head.
The last charity I donated to was the Brooklyn Community Bail Fund this past summer. So, yes,
cool.
That one.
Would you like to continue giving them money via this quiz?
Absolutely.
Great.
Yeah.
Sounds fantastic. Brooklyn Community Bail Fund.
I'm glad I had one. What if I was like, nah, I hate
fuck up. They can rot.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm writing that down. Okay, so here's how this is going to work. I'm going to ask you 5 questions.
All right.
And for each right answer, $5 is going to the Brooklyn Community Bail Fund. And listeners, if you want to match the donation, I'll shout you out on the podcast. Just send me a receipt to my Instagram, which is at the Mike O'Keefe. Just DM me a receipt, and we'll shout you out on the show. How's that sound, Ken?
I like that. I love that, actually.
This is awesome, Mike. This is great. I'm glad you're doing this, even though you're eventually gonna get fired for this podcast. I'm glad.
Yeah,
it's great.
Wow. Gotta make it count while it's in there. So usually I'll ask the guest like what their favorite subject was leading up to it. I didn't do that with you. I used what I knew about you, and I came up with a quiz. And by came up, I mean Googled questions about the topic.
Okay.
So here's 5 questions about the Great Gatsby.
Woo!
Terry,
hell yeah.
Terry used to have. Are you guys still doing it, or did you finish it?
I don't know. We're in between. What's great about it is a literature podcast called The OK Gatsby, and we cover a book every season. We just do a close reading of a book. And we did Pride and Prejudice last season. That was our 4th book. And we might do another one. It's hard to do podcasts over Zoom, as you know. So we're on hiatus right now. Yeah. But yeah, we're still going.
Cool. So here's some questions about the Great Gatsby.
All right.
Terence Hartnett, from his parents' home in Syracuse, New York.
That's right.
Just waiting for the snow to come. Has it snowed yet?
Oh, it's snowed. It has snowed many times.
We've got nothing here. It's been nice. It's the worst part of winter here in Chicago, where it's not snowing, but it's cold. It's super cold and it's super gray.
Yeah. So you are depressed, but there's no snow. Yeah.
It's depressing, but there's no like fun to it.
Exactly. Yeah. Like the snow makes cold worth it. Like that's how I always feel.
You and your young man go play in the snow? Has he done that yet?
Freak, yes. Every single
time. Oh, yeah. Man. It's the best. I can't wait. We have Mallory's brother. They live right down the street. And it was the older one's third birthday. Happy birthday, Ruby. You'll listen to this in 20 years. But it was Ruby's third birthday on Sunday. It's the greatest. And I can't wait for him to snow so I can start pelting these nerds with snowballs. It's going to be great.
Baby.
That's fun.
Yeah, man. For sure. Anyway, here we go. Question number 1.
Hit me.
How many copies of The Great Gatsby were sold in its first year? In its first year of publication?
I'll say 5,000.
Very low. I was going to give you 10. But you're outside of that. 20,000.
God damn it. Okay.
Which even by 19-something numbers, not a hit.
Not great. Yeah, not great. Great book, though.
He died. The man died. Scott Fitzgerald thought he was a failure when he died.
Really?
Yeah, because he didn't know that it was a hit. He just thought, I sold 20,000 copies. I stink. I stink. I'm going to go. I hope people remember me in this Woody Allen movie in 90 some odd years.
I'm drunk. Who cares?
I'm drunk, and this lady's a real pain in my ass.
You're crazy.
All right, here's question number 2. What were Meyer Wolfsheim's cufflinks made of?
Molars.
Nice.
Woo! Thank you. Something from the book. Human molars.
Human molars. All right.
Good. I can give some money to charity. Good.
All right. Number 3. Great Gatsby.
Great Gatsby.
Quizzing it up.
Quiz time.
What if Ed McMahon was both of them?
Why not? Good point, Ed. Tell me more.
Which character was a pro golfer?
Jordan Baker.
Nice.
Thank God. Okay, good. At least I got some money. I feel like if I got no money to charity off of the thing I proposed to be into, good God.
Well, so when Ben Roy was on the show, Ben's a hilarious comedian, a fantastic podcaster, a great guy. He's a bit of a space cadet. And he doesn't remember. His retention is not great. And we gave him money every time he got one wrong. And $25 is
pretty good.
Nice.
That's great. That's nice.
Dude can go. Number 4. Who was driving the car that killed Fertile Myrtle Wilson?
Oh, that, unfortunately, was our girl, Daisy.
It was.
Daisy was driving the car, tragically.
Gatsby took the blame.
He did. And then he caught a bullet for it.
Unbelievable.
Great book. You read it. It's good. It's short.
It is. Did you read it in high school?
I think I was supposed to have, and I didn't. And then I read it, much like other stuff. I read it like in college, where I was 25 in Chicago, and read it. And I was like, oh, this is pretty good.
Yeah.
I could have, like most of the stuff I did Spark Notes. That was like a huge issue.
Oh yeah. Who's got the time?
Yeah. The teacher of the class should have the time, I think. The guy being paid to do it, but who knows? Hey.
Yeah. I read The Time Machine by H.G. Wells when I was like 26. And I was like, and then I told the girl I was dating at the time, I was like, I just read this. It's really great. Have you read this? And she was like, yeah, I read that freshman year.
Yeah, everyone is supposed to have read that. Yeah.
We didn't have to read that. Never read that. The Time Machine.
Time Machine. It's if you like science fiction books, here's a hot take. The Time Machine, pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty old. There's some newer stuff out there that's probably a little more contemporary language that you might enjoy a little bit more than like.
You know, another good book, Ken? The Bible. Check that one.
Anything by Billy Shakespeare. You're going to love it.
Billy Shakespeare.
You can find the Bible in most hotel rooms.
I think I've heard of that book once or twice. I think so.
Yeah. It's pretty popular. All right, this one's kind of a curveball, but I think you can get it if you say the right answer, then you'll get it.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah. What Oscar did the film adaptation of The Great Gatsby win in 2013? What Oscar did the film adaptation of The Great Gatsby win in 2013?
It wasn't Best Picture. I know that. I'm gonna guess cinematography. It was that crazy. Oh, okay. Well, but I'm not gonna guess that. I'm actually not gonna.
Oh, okay, good. If
that's not gonna be my guess.
I was gonna say it was wrong.
Yeah, no, because good thing that wasn't my guess. My guess is gonna be Best Adapted Screenplay.
No, that's also wrong.
Fuck. Oh wow!
Wow!
Nice, wow!
Some period appropriate jazz music.
Yeah.
No, they won for best costume design.
Oh yeah, sure. I think it earned it. Yeah. Baz Luhrmann. Sure.
Anyway, $15 isn't chump change.
It is not. It is not.
That's 3 fives.
3 5s, 3 Fivskis. See the old Brooklyn Community Bail Fund.
Oh baby, Brooklyn Community Bail Fund, $15.
Can get 5% of a person out of jail.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, you love it.
Oh yeah. Anyway, Terrence, thank you so much.
Oh man, thanks for playing. Thanks for playing.
Thanks for playing.
Thanks for playing
the game I created and sprung on you.
Thanks for having me. That was fun, and I think you're going to be a great teacher. I texted you that not too long ago, and I believe it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. If you're out there and you have my phone number, don't text me lies. Text me true things only. Cool. Awesome. Headmaster Ken Hamlett, how did we do today?
Oh, wow. I love the insight from a real life teacher, not one that played a teacher on TV. I love that you cried after you told that kid to shut up. That's probably my favorite story from the podcast thus far.
Wow.
Because just thinking about a teacher crying after telling a kid to shut up is hilarious to me. You would not have made it at my middle school.
Certainly not. Not this honky. No way.
It's done for, dude.
Yeah.
Let's see. I actually really enjoyed this episode. Really good episode. I'm giving y'all an A. That was
thanks, great. Ken.
Fantastic. Thanks so much.
I thought it was like an extra credit kind of thing. I didn't know this was like for a grade, but thanks. Awesome.
No, it matters, dude. It goes on the report card.
Yeah.
Can I plug my podcast? This is the wrapping up plugging portion. Is that where we're at?
Yeah, please do.
I live in a van now, and I am traveling around the country. When it's not Christmas, I'm traveling around the country, interviewing old friends and new friends and interesting people for a podcast called Down by the River. Get it? It's really good. I talked to a guy who quit money. I talked to a girl who dated a psychopath. I talked to my old friend Max Friedman about why he quit comedy.
Jimmy.
It's good.
Did you guys talk about how I used to call Max Friedman Jimmy for no reason?
You wish we talked about it.
That's cool, man. And when you're back in Chicago, we'll do it on the deck if you want.
I'd love to. Yeah, an outdoor pod. I'd love to do it.
Hell yeah. We got a deck here. It's nice. Anyway, Ken. Hey, Ken. Are you guys still doing Drunken Night Out?
Yeah, Drunken Night Out is still dropping every Thursday now. So I was doing it live on Fridays, and now I'm going to be doing it on Thursdays. So yeah, you can check that out everywhere podcasts are available. You can even go to my website, bigblackschlongs.com.
Bravo, sir.
Oh, that
Bravo.
crushes.
All right. Thank you so much. I'm at the Mike O'Keefe on all this stuff. A joy, a pleasure. Thanks again for listening. Ass dismissed.